There's nothing worse when I would ask people questions and they would give me yes and no answers. Be like, dude, can you work with me here?
Can you elaborate just a little bit?
Exactly.
Use an adjective or two. I'm just saying.
Oh, you know what used to also bug me is people who are interviewers who every time it just slays me, even on TV and radio now where I hear them interrupt the person. Like really, it's not about the person asking the question. And I've noticed that some people do that. And I don't get it. But that's my pet peeve. Are we ready?
Yeah, we are ready to just get the sound on.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Kim, what? Sorry?
I just realized I wore Zoe's bracelets, and they're expensive. They're ones Paul brought, and one is missing off my arm. She will kill me. I am freaking out.
It's a good thing you're her mother.
I'm not going to tell. I'm going to deny it. I'm just going to put this one back. I didn't tell her I was wearing them.
Maybe it's in the car.
Oh, I hope so.
Okay.
Listen, this is a crisis right now.
I know.
Actually, I'm going to keep the camera right here, but
Yeah.
maybe if you could move the chair back. So I just want to get you closer to
Careful.
the axis of the camera.
Okay.
So in other words, I'll put it like right here. So Kim will be looking closer towards the...
I can stand.
No, you don't have to stand.
No?
This is perfect. Okay. And Kim, so you're just look at Malia, and if Malia does ask you a question, because we're not going to hear her voice.
Oh, we're not going to hear my voice?
Well, we might not.
Oh, right. That is not. Okay.
Just try to try to answer as if in a way that people will know what the question is. So, if somebody says, "Where were you born?"
Say I was
I was
born
born in, or as opposed to just West
Because-
Palm Beach or wherever. Okay. Basically, let's get two chairs. Is that okay? Is that comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, so just
none
look-
of this is really comfortable. I mean, this could be. We need to work.
It's a little unnatural.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
You all
going to
set?
need you to figure this out next time so that we have a comfortable, like the stars when it's for a movie, so that we have like
couches.
couches.
Like Oprah.
A little more pre-production. I'll come a day early and
Scout.
make sure that I have the
You
right
like
lighting
drapes
scheme
in
set
the
up.
background. you know.
Yeah, some maybe a couple of ferns.
Yes, I need you to get with that. Okay.
Okay, we're all set. Go ahead.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, so Kim, I was thinking we could start from the beginning.
Okay.
Not exactly where you were born, but can you just talk about a little bit about what led to you going to prison and how long you were there?
Several years ago, I had some surgeries and some bad car accidents, and little by little, I started taking some pain medication. And on the side, I was already using drugs on a more social basis, but see, it just got bad, and it got worse, and life got hard, and I started using pills all the time. I wasn't a mom. I wasn't a daughter. I wasn't a friend. I wasn't. All I cared about every day was getting up and getting home. And so I was involved in a sale of 50 pills, which in the state of Florida is trafficking. And even though I didn't really have a record, I ended up at Homestead.
So your first time getting arrested?
Trouble. I was arrested maybe once or twice before, but nothing where I stayed, for any real amount of time or anything. I think I stayed 20 days one time, and that's it. And it was for a violation of probation. I've never had any serious court stuff. It was driving. I was suspended. I violated my probation. I was having custody issues with my daughter's dad, and so they had arrested me for violation of probation because he had called and said a bunch of stuff, but it all got washed out. But I still ended up staying 20 days, and that was heartbreaking. It was monumental. I couldn't take it. It was awful. And then I got arrested for trafficking, and I had no record. I had no real experience with jails, and they told me I was going to do a minimum of 3 years under minimum mandatory law in the state of Florida. And I was devastated. I was devastated. And my first reaction was, I can't do this. I can't do 3 years. I can't. 3 years is forever, you know? And at that time, I told my kids, you know, like my son, who was 16, I told him, you know, Mom's tough, Mom's got this, you know, hold your chin up, never let them see you sweat, you know, Mom took it like a champ, you know, took it right to the chin, no problem. And I didn't know. I had no idea what prison was going to be like. And I had no idea the things that I was going to go through, and having no power. My father died in 2014, and I was inside, and he had an accident. And I remember them calling me down to the gazebo, and he hadn't answered the phone the night before, and he always answered the phone. I was Daddy's little girl. He did everything for me. That was when my life changed. And he was on life support for 5 days, and then they took him off the machines and he passed away. And before he died, I told him that he wasn't, they put it on speakerphone, and I got to say goodbye, and I told him that he was never going to have to worry about me again, that I was going to do whatever it took. And so that's when I started doing betterment classes. But the betterment classes aren't enough. They're not enough for what is truly needed. The healing and the work and the recovery and the life skills and the employability skills for the level of people that are in prison today in Florida. They don't get that in the programs that the DOC puts on.
Before you went in, were you working?
Yeah, I actually was working at Habitat for Humanity. Say that, but I was working at their thrift store. And what's funny is that I was really working there just so I had extra money to spend on drugs. Because my dad was paying all my bills. I have a college degree. I never used it. I was a certified medical coder. Never used it because it interfered with getting high. I mean, it interfered with everything.
So when you got to prison, did you feel like you were different from the other women?
I felt like I had no idea. Like I thought before that I was tough, and I knew the street. I was hard. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was like. I didn't know what every day was like. And there were some good days. There were some bright spots. Don't get me wrong. I mean, for prison there was bright spots, but there were some days where you just saw things that were horrible, and you were treated less than. When I talked to the lady who runs the halfway house I'm in, what made the decision for me was she wanted to know my name. And I said, Mafio. And she said, no, baby, I want to know your first name. I don't want to call you Mafio. And I started crying because she wanted to know my name. You spend years, days, months, however long you're there, you spend in a situation and an atmosphere where nobody, you have no depth. You are just a name and just a name. Just another person in line, just another person in blue. Every day. Your feelings don't matter, your wants don't matter, your needs don't matter. None of it matters. And when you get out, but even before that, going to lead was huge for me. I had some friends who were in previous classes, both 8, 9, both classes 8 and 9. I had friends in,
And you were class 10.
yes, I was in class 10, and they saw that I was trying to do something different, but I was really frustrated. because I knew it would never be enough. And I had no support. My dad was gone. My family wasn't interested in, oh, come live with us. It's all going to be gravy, you know. They were like, no, you know, they're scared.
And what made you decide to do LEAP?
I had a conversation with some of the girls that were in LEAP because I was really struggling. And I knew that I was scared. I was scared that I wouldn't have the skills. I knew I needed some skills. I needed something, some support, some skills. I had nothing. And I was taking all these betterment classes and it just wasn't going to be enough, and I knew that. And I'm pretty self-aware now, and I knew it wasn't going to be enough. And they suggested that I apply for LEAP. And at first I didn't really understand what the program was. And I was like, I don't think that's for me. And they're like, no, really. This is exactly what you're looking for. This is what's going to help. And so the day I applied and I filled out the application, as soon as I filled out the application, I was like, I want this. I really, really want this. You know, and we did the interviews and I was picked, and I walked in the first day and met Ms. Johnson, and I knew that they were going to help me find answers. I wasn't just a name and a number. I was a part of something, a part of a class. And as time went on and we learned from each other and we were doing the assignments through Thinking for a Change and really digging down deep, it afforded all of us